episodes we just
know,
did before.
It was crazy. I'm like,
Welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things.
I feel like it's been a minute.
Right? The podcast where we are on some manifest your life.
Now's the perfect time.
Shift your mind and raise the consciousness type of shit. I am Mia.
And I'm Christy. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour. Okay, so you guys, we've been drinking rosé too. But I've been thinking, like what we just said. I've been thinking. Manifest your life. Like all of this is like deep when you break it down. Manifest your life. Like what is it you want for yourself? Shift your mind. Shifting the paradigm. Right?
Look at how change. Come on. Girl.
And then raising the consciousness, like it's time for us to wake up to who we truly are. Like you guys, and this just came to me.
We knew it when we did it, but now we know we mean this on a whole nother level.
This is whole nother level. This is deep. No, it really.
Damn, I love doing this.
We do. We really do.
We knew what we was doing when we didn't know what we was doing.
So last week we talked about. Well, last week was kind of just like a brief episode. I mean, it wasn't even an episode. It was just like a brief discussion that we had, a sister talk. But the week before we were talking about living in the world but not being of it. And so this episode is for you all out there who feel like you're straddling the fence between your own like multi-dimensions, excuse the background. And then for those of you who yes. So for those of you who don't feel like your roots are here on earth in this space and time, you don't feel settled. We really hope that this episode resonated with you, and honestly, we share what we do and what we've done to help during our time here. Because I mean, there are days where I'm just like, you know what, just not kill me, but just beat me up. Like,
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
My vacation's over. Bye bye.
I'm done. Thanks.
I'm done.
So
what
today,
yeah.
And it's so interesting because that's what me and Chrissy just had a 30-minute conversation just talking about what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the concept of sacrifice and suffering, the difference between them. Yeah. So you know around here we love a good operational definition.
Yes.
Queen Christy demands a definition.
I love definitions.
So this because sacrifice, especially spiritually. Because people think, when you go do certain type of asking of people, depending on their lineage,
right?
With which they practice, sacrifice can mean several different things. That can mean sacrifice of animal, you know what I mean? Like, so I just want us to be clear.
Or even as you sacrificing meals, like not.
Yes, eating. Yeah, it's so many different things. So. When we're talking about, and we probably will hit a little at some point, end up talking about like that type of sacrifice. But what we're really talking about is the surrender or destruction of something prized or desirable for the sake of something considered as having a higher or more pressing claim. So basically, that was a quote. I didn't write that. I was just Webster or Webster, whatever that thing.
Webster.
Them right there. So basically, when we're talking about sacrifices, giving up something that you want or hold in high regard. Mm-hmm. For something that you hold in even higher regard, that you say this is more important. That's what we're talking about in sacrifice. So we'll break it down a little bit more now. And I think we all know what it means to suffer, but for the sake of conversation, we're talking about suffering is, and I love this, the state of being in great trouble. Suffering implies, this is the important part, conscious endurance of pain or distress, because conscious is going to be
that's the operative
differentiating point here. So let's get into this, Christy. Because we were talking about this kind of before we started recording. We really I'm just like, girl,
it was a really good conversation.
Right, I'm like them gold in them there.
Right. Like I was even getting some downloads.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, no, this is like a thing. So, whew. I just want to just hit on, because I want to bring to the table, what we were talking about is even looking at our own lives, even up until right now, looking at how what we believed was a sacrifice, we're looking back and discovering, no, that was suffering. And that's why I said I want you guys to
me.
Right? No. But I want you guys to hear. That's why I said when I said the conscious,
or actually,
meaning I made the choice.
I'm gonna have to say it's a story. I'm gonna say it's someone else and not me.
All right. Tell the story about somebody you had heard about from your homegirl.
A friend of a friend's cousin.
A friend of a friend's cousin, auntie.
Friend. Right. And their uncle's nephew.
So, to me, I wonder how often because we were literally thinking about this, going through it in our lives. It's like I remember feeling like I'm sacrificing, but now that I know the distinction between the sacrifice and the suffering, and I know, I love myself a lot more than I did at certain other times in my life. The suffering, and the thing about suffering is you forget that this is a conscious choice that you made. So you feel like I'm sacrificing. I'm, for the greater good, and that gives us, it gives us the high moral ground to make us feel better about our bullshit.
I've had a gummy. So this is where. Oh no! So this is where I start thinking. You smell like outside.
Hey, cutie.
But. So then children who are starving, because I would consider that suffering, because it's not necessarily consciously them wanting to be.
Okay, see, so, that's a good point. Okay, so, that's why we have our operational definitions, because what we're talking about in sacrifice and suffering in this context is when we are making a choice and a decision.
Because there's always a choice.
Right.
Always.
So we're not talking... So, I'm so glad you said that. So, suffering is like when you aren't in a space to... You're not in a place where you have any control over your environment, such as children. Or, that's not chosen suffering. That's something different. So, when we're saying sacrifice, because you're like, I choose to sacrifice or blah, blah, blah. Right. So, we're looking at suffering... is like that conscious, I'm choosing this, but we'll make ourselves feel better and take the high moral ground. I'm suffering, I'm sacrificing for the greater good. What greater good? The greater good don't want you suffering, baby.
But so then what if you consciously put yourself in a situation where you are like decreasing the way that you live in order to save? I mean, that's
sacrifice.
That's sacrifice, okay.
Because
I don't know, you guys. No. My sacrifice and my suffering, I feel like it overlaps. And
so listen, think about it. You are staying someplace, that you would rather not. It's not your favorite place because you need to save money because you want what? A new car or whatever it is you're saving for.
Or better, yeah.
I want to, you know what I mean? So that is a conscious sacrifice because this is temporary. So it's not like you're not really giving up something. You're choosing that the better, whatever that is more important than this little time right here. So this is nothing because I'm getting that. So when you can look past the pain and the uncomfortableness, even though you're going to go through that, but understand it's all for this. That's not suffering. It's like, that's a sacrifice. I'm standing in my strength on this.
That's so interesting. Okay. All right. So there was a situation that I heard with a friend.
Get out of here.
With a friend who was in a relationship that was kind of, it wasn't really good. I'll say it was toxic. So she moved on and decided to be with someone else because she just didn't want to be a part of that toxic relationship anymore. Moved on, ended up getting married. The person that she married wasn't necessarily who she really felt she needed to be with. It just was, and she was tired of being by herself, and she wanted a partner, and wanted.
She settled.
She settled.
Her settled.
And of course, things fell apart, and then she ended up going back into that toxic relationship, which ended up not being toxic because, people have changed and grown and awakened, and anyway. So, what do you all say? This woman, during that period of time, sacrificing or settling?
Okay, so let's add another S to the conversation. Okay. All three of these things, what they have in common is that you are making the choice. You are not a victim whether or not you are suffering, whether or not you are sacrificing, or whether or not you are settling. You are not a victim.
That's true.
Okay? This is what I choose for my life.
Mm-hmm.
But, so for this situation that you're saying, it's like, settling could be a sacrifice or a suffering, right? If you were unhappy, unfulfilled, didn't like your life, couldn't stand coming home and having to deal with this motherfucker, you were suffering. But understand, you settled and you suffered. Now, if this is a different type of situation, you're just like, okay, I really love this man, but he's broke. But we're going to sacrifice this. While he's broke, I'm going to sacrifice by... I'm going to work 3 jobs because I believe in this motherfucker. He just need a little time. And, we're going to build this together because you got an end goal in mind. Like, I'm going over there. Right now, this shit is going to suck because I'm going to be working like 120 hours a week.
So you're saying that it can be both ways? It
yes.
Can also be, okay.
The thing is, it depends on where you going with it. When you're suffering, like, what's the end game? Like, I'm just here.
Sometimes I think we purposely put ourselves in situations where we are suffering, and we do feel like we are the victim.
Yes, we're like, I know, I'm sacrificing. I'm
right.
not suffering.
Right.
I'm sacrificing because I'm being a good person.
Right. Sorry. But that is, like, I definitely think that is the case. And then it's like, oh, I'm the victim.
Yeah.
And I'm suffering. And
yes.
I don't have a choice. But we
always
have a choice.
Always say, I don't have a choice. You know what?
We always have a choice.
I tell you, this thing was just... You know what? I had some dope women in my life guiding me. My mother used to say to me, if you think... What did she say? It was something like, she said, just when you think you know something or you've mastered something, she said, keep living. And I would just, when you're younger,
yeah,
and I'm like,
whatever.
Man,
that's what
that's what
say.
I'm saying. We're so, just keep living. So this is what I love about this beautiful thing this little dance we're doing on this little beautiful planet, this little blue pearl. Unfortunately, as the 3D matter being, with the way that we're designed is to view this world in a linear way, up, you know what I mean? Like, but the way we're really experiencing this is in a spiral, and instead of like thinking of it like a ladder, it's more like it can go ascend and descend, but it's more of a spiral. And so there's this harmony and this dance that we're going through. So just when we get to a point where we learn, about self-love, you're like, oh my goodness, I love myself. You know what I mean? And just when you think, like, oh, I get this concept. I'm gonna record this because this is like, just when we get this concept, what happens is we're walking through life, loving on ourselves, and then all of a sudden, what I thought was self-love, what I'm experiencing now is, damn!
I know.
It's levels to this. There are levels to
this shit.
So, I recently just had one of these upgrades, I'm being honest with y'all, where I'm telling you, y'all know, I'm at a certain point, and I'm just like, I like me, I fuck with me. Now, when I tell you, me and this bitch right here, her right here, I rock with her. I fuck with her. I love her. And she loved me back. whole other level. There is not near a person, entity, being, conscious or not, that can come between me and me. When I tell you, that's a beautiful place to be.
Really
and I would
is.
tell you, I definitely knew before, like, life is so beautiful, man. Before feeling this, I loved myself. I really did. And I can say that I had a healthy respect and all that. But what I'm feeling now is like, whole other.
It's like you are the bomb.
Like I literally, and it's not even an egotistical
It really
thing.
isn't.
Where it's just like, I don't have anything to say to anybody about nothing. Except me. Yeah, I'm going to tell y'all what I did today. Your girl, this is called anti-behavior. I talked to myself. I was having a conversation with myself.
Me too.
Minding my business. Having me a whole conversation. And I'm getting dressed. Like I got to, get out the house. So I'm putting on a little makeup, walking out. And I said out loud, but I'm talking to myself. Conversation. And I said to myself, girl, let me get off this phone. I got to finish getting dressed. Who are you talking to, sis? You're not on the phone. Conversation with myself is so that goddamn good. I didn't even know I was talking to myself. I'm on the phone with my bestie like, girl, let me get off this phone. I gotta finish. I was just like, I rock with me. Y'all need to rock with you.
Right.
I fuck with me.
I really do.
Like,
and we've
what?
talked about it before, even if you don't feel it, and there may be some people that just don't feel it, man, just tell yourself. You see, anytime I see a reflection or I see myself, I'm like, I fuck with you.
Christy!
You're dope. You're fly. I like you.
You know what?
You look good.
Thank you, sis. I feel seen. And thank you. Because, baby, I'm so glad you said that, because that's literally how I feel when if I walk past something. And I'm going to tell you, before when I walk past something, it wasn't like, oh, she's terrible. I'm like, hey, girl, she cute. I'll see myself, I'm like, I fuck with her. Hey, it's
even if it's not perfect,
it's different. I'm in love with me. I am in love with me.
Yeah. And I feel like once you get to that point, things change around you too. Like, because other people start to feel that.
Because, we talk about attraction.
Yeah.
And energy. Like, we are literally walking magnets. So whatever your energy is, you bring into you. Girl, thinking about, like, even being aware of the fact that the way that I love on myself has adjusted and changed on a whole new level gets me even more excited, because I already know what's coming to me. I was why? But the other thing about this is this so unselfish. I'm like, I literally want everybody to feel like this.
Yeah, I do too.
This is not something.
Like, if everyone knew just how amazing they were.
How amazing you are. Just you. Just who you are.
Flaws and all.
The flaws
we're not meant to be perfect.
Baby. Oh my God. Like that's how, like, it's not like, oh my, it's not this feeling of, I've discovered, I feel like I've discovered something new. Like I've discovered a new star or something. Yeah. And instead of feeling like I want to hide it and keep it to myself because I don't want anybody else to have this magic too, when you really feel it, like, oh my God.
This needs to be shared.
Everybody needs to, oh my God. Like, I'm one of those people, and when I'm in love, I'm in a relationship, I want everybody around me like, y'all, this shit is hot. Come on. I'm trying to get everybody on board. Like, it's a beautiful space to be in. And what I love about the journey is getting to this space knowing that I worked for this.
Yes.
Makes
I forget.
this.
Ooh, I often forget.
Baby, mama worked for this. I deserve to feel how beautiful I am. Are you fucking kidding me? And when you get to that space, you just like, no, being here, when I tell you, can't nobody take this from me. I do, like, I'm literally like tearing up because I'm like, nobody can take this from me.
Right.
I did this.
And
Those
that
are all
goes
my
deep.
those are all my lessons. I did this. I'm the one that's still here. No matter what I see myself. I held myself accountable. Girl, come on.
So so many of you may know or may not know our situations. I feel like we've talked about it in one of these episodes, so I'm not going to go through it here, but I feel like we've both gone through some stuff. And it's like we're not on the street selling ourselves. Not to say that's bad. Right. I hope that doesn't come off wrong. But I mean, or
we're not in any way
or doing
harming ourselves. Something that is against who
we're not
we
on
are.
drugs or whatever the case may be.
Well, we are, but
we're not intentionally harming.
No,
well,
we are on drugs. Well, actually, right now. Depending on what state you're in. We're either legal or we're on drugs. But continue.
Well, now I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, we've both been through some stuff.
Oh yeah, we've both been through some stuff, but I feel like we've made a conscious choice to not allow that shit not to allow that stuff to make us who we are.
So,
you know?
It's like these.
But there are some people that they just kind of spiral down.
Because what? Oh man, this shit goes so deep. It's like there are things that can happen in your life that.
We're going a little tangent. It's fine.
I know we are totally. It's just who we are. So there are things that can happen in your life that are so that's trauma, because it will that happens to you because it changes the way you see the world.
Yes,
right.
I firmly believe that.
But then there are things that happen in your life. What I would say, the way I define this is traumatic, when that changes the way you see yourself. The things that happen to us that change the way we see ourselves. When we're going through the healing process, that's the hardest part, because we are literally learning to adjust how we see who we are. So when we're asking ourselves to love ourselves, if there's something that has happened to us to make us feel like we're not worthy of love, and the first person we have to convince that we're worthy of love is really who we are, and we finally figure it out and go through that journey, and I get there and I see what I'm worthy of, you will not take this from me. Period. I earned this. Oh my God. I earned this. I love this. What?
And I will say,
we are worth the work, motherfucker. I'm like, y'all, we are worth it.
I often forget the work that it took to get here, and all the shit that I've gone through to get here. I often I forget all the time. Actually, until you brought it up, I forgot. But no, you find that you're worthy of all of that. And I also feel like you have a newfound appreciation for just being like having that sense of freedom, which is why you then want to share with other people. You know,
exactly.
It's just like everyone
and when you
has
get
to
here,
know
it's just
this.
like, y'all.
It's like it's time to heal. Come on, let's go.
Guys, let's do this. Come on, I'm here. We all serve in our way. But I know, like, for and I'm not gonna speak for you on this. Like, we all serve in our way, but I know for a fact that both of us were just like, oh, we serve like we're teachers and we're healers because. And look, and this one, and we started doing this before we are where we are today. It's still unfolding,
right,
y'all. And like the more I learn about myself and the more I heal, I'm like, I get so excited. Like, oh my God, how do I tell the world about this? Like, are you kidding me? We for real run this? This is like oh my God, I gotta share.
And the fact that you all listening have come on this road or this journey with us as we unfold or as we discover, it's just amazing.
We ain't faking nothing.
Because also
as we learn,
I feel like
we telling.
And the more that they are learning from us, I feel like that's also changing and evolving them too. Yes.
Okay. So what were we talking about today?
Sacrifice. And this is how we were talking before recording all this, which is why it took us forever. But this was okay.
So I'm going to talk about our. So back to sacrificing, right? when you are willing to sacrifice something, so that means give up something that you enjoy, like, or hold in some type of high regard to get something else, that is such a strong indicator of how much you value yourself. To me, it's like, I love myself so much that I am willing to give up chocolate so that I can train for the Olympic trials or whatever, you know what I mean? But because I love myself so much that given this thing right here, it is something that I enjoy, but this is what I desire, and I love myself so much. You know, if this is what I desire and it's in my heart to manifest, I'm gonna trust myself. So I'm gonna sacrifice this for this.
Yeah.
To me, that's not suffering, but it does say something about how much we love ourselves when we're willing to sacrifice.
And that to
Getting
me,
up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go work out, that's sacrifice.
Ooh,
Perfect example.
Yeah, that's sacrifice.
Perfect example. Like I told Christy the other day, I said, girl, let me tell you something. I walk past the mirror when I get out the shower, look at my body.
You're like,
bitch,
hey,
I am
girl.
cold. I am cold. Okay? Hey, I'm not mad about it. I'll be like, God, what the fuck? What?
You fine.
And I was like, but Christy was the one who got me getting up 4 o'clock in the morning to be at gym 5 a.m. to go work out. And, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes we need somebody to help us along and be our accountability partners. But at the end of the day, it's our choice.
Yeah.
I can easily say I'm not going to do it, or you know what I mean. But it's our choice.
But you don't think we suffered in those workouts?
No. I want to fight our trainer a couple times. Like I still might steal off on him if I see him on the wrong day. He catch me after a couple of tequilas. I might haul up on it. But seriously. But that was a conscious sacrifice because I was like, my body is a temple. This is God's body. I'm gonna treat it as such. That's more important than me feeling any type of temporary pain for me to walk in the body that I'm supposed to be girl by. But even then, when I was doing it, I knew I was sacrificing. I didn't even understand it to that depth. That's why I'm like, this thing just keeps unfolding more and more. But sacrifices, it's a good way to show ourselves that we love ourselves.
Yeah. And I think also the more that you discover, I mean, like she was saying, the more that you discover that you're worthy of it, I feel like it's going to be easier to make those decisions or to be willing to make those sacrifices. Because there are people that just won't do it. They're like, oh, no, I'm not. I just won't.
I'm not. I have literally, oh, man. I was about to say, I have literally heard people, and my team was like, you heard people, bitch? I was like, damn, that was me. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Whoops. Don't you love that?
I was like, they checked me so fast. Like, you tried it. Okay.
Let me remind you.
So, confession. I remember saying, like, literally out loud in conversation, flippantly. Say you're trying to do, like, a body weight goal or something like that. And I remember saying something like, I mean, I could do the work and all that, but I'm not about to give up, my wine, or I'm not about to give up, something, whatever it is. Like, I'm not giving up bread, so I'm gonna have to work around it. Some form of that has definitely come out of my mouth. I'm kind of laughing at myself. It's because we are so powerful. We're so powerful when we do that. We're literally just telling ourselves that we don't trust ourselves. So our body says, okay, well, while you in confusion, I'm just going to get puffier.
And puffier.
Because I like it.
And puffier.
Because you can't figure out what you want to do. I'm going to do what you tell me to do. And you can't tell me, since you don't know what you want to do because you don't trust yourself. I'm going to just, do what you know what I mean? Like, seriously, these are... And so we're so powerful. Yeah. But when we literally say to ourselves and act in our body that, hey, I got you, we worth it, this is what we about to do. no potato, no this, no that, no blah blah blah. Damn, that too. But I like that. No, we're gonna sacrifice this for us. All right. Because let me tell you something. It ain't nobody. And I'm just using the body as an example. But this, when I say you can apply this to any area,
no, you can't.
Of what you want to, something you want to achieve. There's not one person who has sacrificed, worked for what they wanted, gotten what they wanted, and be like, I'm so mad I had to sacrifice. Show me one. Nobody's ever mad thinking about, I'm so mad I had to sacrifice. They looking at themselves like, I did that.
Right. And this kind of takes us to the
next. I did that, yes.
This takes us to the next thing that we're going to discuss is sacrificing is the road to abundance.
Yes.
So this, automatically this podcast came up for me. When I read this, like, we both enjoy this so much, so it doesn't really feel like a sacrifice.
Right.
But this is a sacrifice.
It's a time commitment.
It's a time commitment. You come down here, you pay for parking, or I think today you pay for a car. We like to try to be cordial with each other, so we'll order food and we'll have wine.
We're going to eat and drink each other.
And then it takes time to, like, post stuff and to get stuff out, and we
talk about what we're going to figure out what we're going to talk about, and really, because we give a fuck.
Yeah. And even though, like, I mean, that's a sacrifice for us, but I feel like we are abundant. We're growing abundantly because, like, we're meeting new listeners. We're learning so much. Like, we're creating this tribe almost.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's like abundance. Abundance doesn't necessarily always mean like
Chrissy, I just
monetary.
Have an idea. For our 2-year anniversary, do you still have those intentions we originally wrote when we started the podcast?
Yes.
We should read them. We should share them. Okay, sorry guys. That something when you said that, I was like, made me think. When we did this,
when we started, actually the first
we were very intentional about
what
I'm so. This is gonna be a good little interesting test. Do not look at it, Christy, beforehand.
I'm not. I have not looked at it
because I'm. This is gonna be a great lesson for everybody. I want to see what we spoke over this when we started this.
Like where our vision was at that point in time. That'll be interesting.
I know,
right? Oh my gosh, now I'm nervous. We want to make sure one person is listening.
Right?
We'll post once a month.
I'm excited. I'm curious to see.
I am curious.
So okay, but I like that analogy that you just
The sacrifice does lead to the road to an abundance.
Absolutely.
Because I also believe that this, like all of this is energy too, like energetic.
Almost
so
definitely.
When you're giving and giving and giving, it's a cycle. You're going to start to receive too.
I had, I know I'm coming out this cycle we talked about earlier, because things are being, like I had this wonderful experience today. I saw an old friend, and they came to me and they said, just talking like, how you doing, with, doing the catch-up thing. And this man said to me, and he's just like, he said, I've been thinking about you because I wanted to tell you how important you were to me in a very difficult time in my life. And it's like I remember, but I don't really know. Mm-hmm. I don't remember, and I'm listening to him. He's just like, and like you really need to understand. And it was
wow.
It was very affirming to hear, because this is just who I am, and it feels good to know on the back end that I have affected someone in a positive way, just by being who I am naturally. And y'all, that's what we all are. Like even I don't care who you are, how bad you think you are, there is something that you have done in this life just by being who you are that has affected somebody.
I agree.
In such a positive way.
Which is so important, why we need to be and live our authentic selves. And I was thinking that we should do an episode on authenticity. Because we don't really talk about that. Like,
Oh
what
my
exactly
God, we
does
had a
that
great
mean?
conversation. I like that. Okay, guys, next week, authenticity.
But no, I really do believe that sacrifice does. It is the road to abundance.
Wait a minute, hold on, real quick. You just made me think about something. You guys, make sure you follow us on IG because we do polls about topics and subjects that we want to talk about. So follow us at 2 Queens Crystal Things on IG. So and give us your feedback. We love to hear from you guys. Our IG family, they know we respond back super fast, and we talk to them, and it's a good time over there. So follow us if you're not. Okay,
Yes.
Sorry, Chrissy, go ahead.
Also, I guess I don't know if I should I talk about the Buy Me Coffee link?
Oh, is it live?
It should be.
Do we have our episodes up there? We're doing a little bit of a refresh on our brand, by the way.
Yeah, we are refreshing our brand because we're growing. I mean, again, the sacrifice is the road to abundance.
Yes, sorry. This is the situation right here, right now.
Okay.
Just don't worry about me.
All right.
I got it. Okay, so let's talk about when you've sacrificed. So we've had, I think, a pretty, level discussion on about what sacrifice is, conscious decision. I make a conscious decision to sacrifice, but now I'm suffering. Do you think that's a real thing? You know what I mean? Like, so let's just put something on the table. Got it. Okay, I got one. Here you go. I am making a sacrifice. Look, I'm like, this is personal. I am making a sacrifice in being with anyone intimately because until it's what it is. You know what I mean? And I know what I'm worthy of, and I know what I deserve. So it's like I'm willing to sacrifice this. I'm not playing.
But are you suffering?
Right. But so what if I get, just extremely horny, and now is that suffering? Because I'm not allowed. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, can sacrifice it, or forget even the horny part. Real talk. I get extremely lonely. It's not like it's not like you can't be around someone, but if you've said to yourself, I'm not even entertaining energy that's not for me, so I can leave space open. Girl, it's just motorcycles. So I'm sorry. So I can leave space open for what is for me. So I'm sacrificing that if it's not what I'm attracting, and I'm becoming what I'm attracting. So that means there's gonna be some lonely nights.
Yeah.
But
are you suffering?
But some people will suffer. They'll allow themselves to suffer because they're looking at what they're giving up instead of what they're gaining. So it'll be like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm by myself. Every time I look up, somebody's in a relationship. I just want somebody to hold me. Like, that shit is real. That shit is fucking real. You're just like, I just saw something funny. I want to turn over and be like, look, baby.
So for suffering, and maybe I'm just, because you guys know my rising is Virgo. But so when I think of suffering, I don't necessarily think of people intentionally doing it to themselves.
See, okay. Ooh, okay. Let's talk about intention. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. I'm so glad you said that. Being consciously intentional. As opposed to doing things and not understanding that you are being intentional by doing it. But not you know what I mean? Like, not being aware. Okay. Wait, no, seriously. So, with suffering, it's like I do feel like they're making a decision. People are making a decision, but we're not being honest with ourselves about it. It's like, I feel like suffering is because we're choosing, right? But it's like we're victimizing ourselves at the same time.
But you don't think some people suffer and they don't mean to intention? I'm sorry.
Yes, but that's true.
I'm totally getting us off.
No, Christy, they do.
Sorry.
People do not mean to put themselves in that position, but
it's 40 minutes.
That's it.
Guys, it feels like, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I forgot I got weed minutes now.
Weed minutes, you probably do. But, so yes, I do think that there are people who are not, it's like, that's why we need to be so intentional in our lives. Mm-hmm. Like, intentional about our relationships, intentional about the people we want around us, intentional about the energy we want around us, intentional about what we're manifesting, intentional about every freaking, about our environment, what we are taking in from media to food. Be very intentional. Right. When we're not intentional, we allow things to make us choose suffering and fake like that's not what, and trick ourselves into thinking that we're the victims. We have to be intentional. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to, because in your actions and your thought in your mind, you are creating an intent.
Yes.
If you're not controlling what you are intending, you leaving yourself out there. You out here spiritually raw dogging. Just I said it. You out
wish
here.
You all saw this.
Spiritually getting raw dogged.
Oh my goodness.
Talking about I don't have no control, because you won't control your intention. Be intentional about everything. We are literally energy magnets.
Yeah, and I will say that once it becomes a habit of being intentional,
absolutely,
it just happens automatically, and then it's like
it's just literally a part of my life.
Right.
Like, I mean, baby will speak so quick. I will speak a spell so quick over my life, like just protecting myself. Just, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm so aware of where I am at all times. Like, I'm so much more aware, and I love the more that. Let me tell you something. I love as I learn more, I understand that I don't know shit.
Oh yeah.
The more that I get downloaded to, the more I get integrated, the more I get closer to understanding that one consciousness and connecting back to this. I'm like, I don't know shit. Like, it just keeps going. I love that shit.
Yeah.
That's beautiful to me. How can we, like, that's beautiful. It's, to me, and then maybe I'm just crazy, but to me, it's so beautiful to believe, to know there's no end game to this. Mm-hmm. That the possibilities, the understanding, the wisdom, the knowledge, the growth, the love is infinite.
Yeah.
Infinite.
And I will say now, keep breaking this down. So I will say for me now is I get excited. Like, it's not, maybe not like overwhelmingly excited, but I do get excited when something comes up, because for me, I feel like it's an opportunity for growth.
Upgrade.
Right. Or something's going to change, or I'm going to learn something. So I'm usually like, so before I would be, can't sleep, can't eat. And now I'm just like, oh, let's go. Let's do this.
You know,
let's do it.
We talked about this last week too, by the way. Because I had one of these moments. Y'all, it's been a tough 2022, spiritually and emotionally for me, but it's been such a growth. I had a moment where I just had another moment of gratitude. We're talking about, I'm so damn thankful that I even have the vulnerability to go this depthful and feel the vibration, because I feel like all emotions are love. It's just a different vibration or aspect of love, and so for me to be able to feel the highs and the depths that I've gone, that lower vibrational and climbing up, because I know what's ahead of me. What I know for certain, there are universal and natural laws. One is balance. This universe will always seek balance.
Yep.
So the depths that I've had to go to learn the lessons to who I am, when I look back, I have absolutely no regrets, no fears, no worries, because I know the balance will come as that swings back up like a pendulum up to that top.
Yep.
Because of how deep my roots are. This tree about to pop out in the clouds, baby. So, like, we gotta love our journey, y'all.
Yeah.
We gotta love this journey. It's dope out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something that I feel like I'm just now, even with the challenges.
Is there anything else?
Even with the challenges, I'm just real.
it just stopped recording for no reason. So we'd been talking a little bit past the recording. Once it stopped, not realizing that it had stopped.
Yeah.
So we're coming back on.
And hopefully you all can hear me, because we've gone back and tried to correct some things. So who knows? Look, please.
Hey, the message is gonna get what the message is.
Right.
It's gonna be what it's supposed to be. So back to sacrifice. This is what we forgot. Okay. When we were talking about, we both said sacrifice in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little deeper, right? Whenever we start to have conversations about sacrifice and suffering and relationships, it just takes it to another level, because this is attached to our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so it pulls a little bit different. So, Christy, sister, I'm gonna ask you.
Oh, Lord. Well, so his cousins, aunties, nephews.
Right. No, seriously, from as vulnerable as you're willing and able to be at this time, how much are you willing to sacrifice for the relationship, a relationship? How far are you willing to go?
I'm willing to go all the way. I'm willing to do what it takes. But that's not with every relationship. You know how you kind of just
like
know,
that.
it's like you're kind of here just for.
So when you say you're willing to, are you willing to
anything.
Have that sacrifice turn into suffering?
Yeah, like I'm even willing. Okay,
Really?
so this is a good example. I am so like. I would be willing to sacrifice this relationship with who I'm seeing now for his happiness. Like, if us together does not make you happy, then I love you that much to just let it go. But also, like, allowing that to happen, I would definitely be suffering. But that, for me, that's like a good bridge. Like, that's a good example.
Oh, you just hit another. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Okay. Damn. Okay, wait a minute, Christy. I gotta rethink this now.
That's the only situation.
Wait, just give me because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm willing to sacrifice the relationship because of the love that I have for you, knowing that I will suffer.
Yes.
Shit.
Ooh, I just got chills. Yes.
I need to just, because when going back to the definition of when we're saying what suffering is it implies the conscious endurance of pain or distress. Damn, Christy.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. All right. So I'll pose another question, follow-up question, because you got me thinking about some things.
She always comes with these good questions.
Because I mean, at any point, do you start to look and say that you're suffering because you're choosing to, knowing because you sacrifice a relationship for the love for someone else? But do you think this is all hypothetical, guys, we're just but do you think you would ever get to the point where you would say, hey, I love myself more than I love him, and I want, while I would like for him to be happy, my happiness is first, and don't suffer anymore?
Yeah, so that was what happened, what we talked about when I was like, I'm done. And then after that, everything changed.
So let's get into it. So the suffering stopped once you, and what I'm hearing is the suffering stopped once you chose yourself.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say that one more time.
Yeah.
Hear this. The suffering stops once you choose yourself.
That's deep.
Because
And
it's true.
it is true, and that's what he's experiencing now.
Baby.
Like everything that we've been talking about. I know.
The suffering stops once we choose ourselves, because when we choose ourselves, we can't choose anything that is against us.
Exactly.
You know
that part. That part.
You know that quote that says, if let's say, if God be for me, who be against, know.
Yep.
So I just want you to take out the word God and say, if I be for me, who can be against me?
Right.
Because this is like, as we're here,
mm-hmm.
we run this. We choose this. You're in God's body.
Yeah. That whole saying, stay in your lane, holds a completely different meaning for me.
Yes.
Like, it makes complete sense. It's like, we each have our lane. Like, why are you concerned about this lane over here? Why aren't you focused on your own?
I love my lane.
I love my lane, too.
And back to that. This is when you, like, and just as we integrate into one consciousness, for real, me loving my lane makes me appreciate and love all the other lanes too.
Yep.
Because me staying in my lane, being dedicated to my lane and in my growth, knowing what it takes to do that, makes me have so much compassion, love, empathy, and admiration,
yes,
and for looking at everybody else's lane like, oh my God, that's beautiful. It's not a comparison,
right?
It is a respect, because I mean.
Because it's like, you look at someone's lane, it's like, I know exactly what it took for you to
look how beautiful your lane is. Oh, let me look over here. Oh my goodness. I know what you had to do to create that. But never come back and look at my lane like it's less than. I come back and be like, oh, look, I love my lane. I love my lane. Yeah. I'm good. I'm so gonna enjoy the continued evolution and
did you ask a second question?
Unfoldment
of
who I am. Wait, hold on. I said 2 questions. And what was the first one?
The first one I shared about the sacrifice and the suffering. Like, I would be willing. I think you said, like, what would you be willing to do or something? Right.
And then
I shared that. And then you said you had another one.
Shoot. I did ask you, I said, at what point does the sacrifice and suffering, where you say, I love myself more than I love this person?
Oh, yeah. So I feel like that just happened. When things shifted, when I finally said, you know what? I'm done putting this person ahead of me. I'm going to finally cut ties, focus on me and my happiness, and that's when things shifted. And once I started shifting, like, even with manifesting, things changed. You know, like, things just seemed to come easier. You know, certain serendipitous situations just happened.
Like, it starts to unfold for you.
Right, once you choose you. And then there's this new song with Kendrick Lamar. It's Heart, what is it, Heart?
Baby.
5, whatever.
Side the fuck bar. Have you seen?
I saw the video.
Christy. Hold on, y'all. This Kendrick Lamar video, 5 hearts, 5 faces, 5 hearts.
Yeah, 5 hearts.
Okay. We just gotta have a pause for the cause on this. If you have not seen this video, I love Kendrick. I think he's cold. Real talk. He has this new video out. It's called The 5 Hearts, and he's it's a from a cinematography level. It's a very simply shot him against one background. It has like this deep red into a black kind of background. He's off center to the right, and he's just, you know, he's a dope lyricist. He's doing his thing, but as he's speaking, his face is morphing into every people that we all know. But if you put the words with the people he's saying, so as an example, he morphs into OJ, and then he morphs into Kanye. I know he ends up with Nipsey. Who else? Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see that part.
Kobe's on there. I mean, so the first time I saw it, I was just like, oh, wait, I'm like, wait, did I just? It's so subtle.
And then
powerful.
There was this rapper that was like, he stole my idea or something. But then everyone's like, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson did this in that black and white video.
Something.
Everything is inspired by something.
I do not care. It was powerful because his words with the beat I
thought it tied into being like I am. Like
it was masterfully done.
Didn't he say something in the beginning that we are all one or something?
Yes, he said,
I am something.
The all of us. I am period. All of us. So as soon as I saw that, I was like,
I know. So then as he's morphing, I'm like,
oh, wait a minute, ma'am.
Let me find out,
ma'am. Oh, I've been loving Kendrick. I like that one right there. But it was so powerful though. I get excited about. I swear I was about to say something. I just thought to myself, you really love yourself. Because I was about to say, I get excited about seeing artists and creators show their master their own work and show it to the world. I get excited
I do too. And that actually ties into the whole authenticity.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of artists that end up cookie cutters and I feel like that's a whole other episode. I really do get
excited. So when I saw that, I was just like, he's on some other stuff, and it was just beautiful to see. Just
and
I had to watch it a couple times. It was so just.
I need to watch it
again.
As
I said, it was so just, but beautiful. So if you really think about it, getting back to like suffering versus sacrifice, you guys we have our sidebar. Sorry. Mm-hmm. When we suffer, because remember, conscious decision. Right? We're doing this in full awareness. Mm-hmm. When we suffer, we are acting out of order with our soul. That's why you're suffering. You're acting out of order because there is no part of you that, you know what I mean, that, hold on. Let me pull that back because I was about to say something that I'm not sure I fully believe. If the true desires of your soul are joy and happiness or whatever it is that you value or hold in high regard for your life, and some people could be like, it's power, it's this, whatever those things are, when you are acting out of what it is that your soul desires, you are suffering. No matter what that is, because I don't want to make a judgment on that. Right. No matter what it is that you came here to learn, to grow, to expand, to experience, when you are doing something that is not in alignment with that,
and I also think that
you will suffer,
right? And that can look like depression or anxiety or whatever just you might be struggling with. And this is one of the tricky little murky areas as we are kind of getting through this journey is we talk about we could be out of alignment with what our soul desires and what we came here to create or live or whatever. But there's also, if you allow yourself to no longer be intentionally choosing your life, and what you're doing in your life is for what somebody else's design is for you and not your own, you will suffer. Yes.
And oftentimes,
just why I'm here.
Like seriously, that oftentimes we make decisions in our life about what we should be doing based on what somebody said we should, somebody put in us. And when we can feel, when we are aware of the fact that this is not what I want, but however, I have to, I should, it's the right thing. You just chose to suffer. Period. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes we get the lesson a little bit quicker, but sometimes we will spend years and decades being something that somebody told us who we were, and then one day we wake up and be like,
Well, it's funny because thinking back to, like, my life, I feel like part of my life was being rebellious and living for myself and seeking my happiness, and then I kind of had this valley where I felt guilty, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to and should do. So then I ended up going back up, my little cycle, and then I'm at this point again where I'm just like, fuck everyone, I am living my life.
I'm going to be happy.
Right, I'm going to be happy, and I don't care how it comes out.
Fuck you and your feelings. Seriously, because I'm not making... None of the decisions that I am making about my life have to do with whether or not it makes anybody else outside of me happy or not. That's not... I can't... You are no longer a variable in my equation of life. Oh, shit.
Right. Say it from your chest.
Did you hear that? Say it. You are no longer a variable in my equation of life.
Yep.
Bye. Seriously. Because there's no way.
Yeah.
So when you take anything that is, when you take anything that is not for you and not give it any type of balance on either side of the equation in your life, and you're like, wait a minute, look, this is my equation. I decide what comes in here.
It's like, am I supposed to be worried? I'm sorry. Because I honestly, I don't remember what I'm supposed to...
My bad.
I forgot my lines. What am I supposed to...
Here?
Confused. Oh, angry. Oh, man, I can't play this part.
Yeah. when you seriously just like, I'm done with this role. I'm not doing this. Wait, where's my script? Baby. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
This is what I am choosing.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Man, it's a whole level of like feeling empowered.
When you start walking down that path, it's just like, I trust so much. Like, even when these little hiccups come and just like, oh, I don't like this, I will walk through. Like, literally, it's like a storm right there. I see it. I'm like, oh, but I know on the other side there's a rainbow.
And we say that all the time. The other side,
I'm doing it. And I'm going to enjoy it. This sounds sadistic. I'm going to enjoy that.
But no, it's true. Like I mentioned that I'm starting to enjoy the challenges.
Yeah.
Like even some of the stuff that I share with you, I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So, I do want to hit on really quickly because we talked about, I think, at the beginning of this when we were defining what this conversation was about regarding sacrifice. Depending on the lineage or ancestry or practice that people choose to travel the journey back to self. That's what I like to call this journey. It's just the journey back to self.
Me too.
But whatever methodology, philosophy that you choose, there are some that work with different deities when they are petitioning that ask for spiritual sacrifices.
Yep.
So
it's funny because when we were talking about this, like my hair's sticking up.
You were thinking about like
when we were when you talked about this, I just was I looked up sacrifice and offering, and I never even thought about the difference, but I realized that there is a difference. And so when I looked it up, it was saying an offering can be an animal offering, but it can also be like goods, a service, but sacrifice typically deals with strictly an animal.
Right. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Yeah.
Again, when we're giving petitions and offer to deities, to guides, to our ancestors, and again, depending on what your practice is, fitted appropriately. But sacrifices spiritually do often I'll just say I feel like they lean more towards something biological.
I say that again?
But I feel like again, depending on the lineage or practice that people are involved in. When it comes to a sacrifice, I feel like the sacrifice is often something biological. Hair, blood, nails, animals, bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas an offering, which I believe is significantly different, not better or worse or anything like that, just different, is it's almost like a I think they are both an honoring of the ancestor of whomever spiritual the people. Oh, Bradley, you scared me. Sorry, guys. The deity that you are working with. But I feel like the offering is more of a how do I say this? What do you call it? They're all on. It's a way of honoring who you're working with, but an offering doesn't necessarily call for you giving up something of yourself or giving up something that you hold in high regard for something. To me, it's almost like I'm setting the dinner table. I'm inviting my family over. I'm setting a dinner table. Mm-hmm. So a lot of us practitioners, and even just forget that, erase that. A lot of us, of people now, have altars in their home.
Yes, and something that
I'm more open about the fact that they have altars in their home, because people have been having altars for a very long time.
And I will say that. I don't even know. I have microphones like on the other side of the room, but I will say, I'm finding more and more people who they have altars in their homes, and a lot of times you don't even know it's an altar.
Bing bang boom.
Like when you share with me, I was like, oh my gosh! Like now that makes complete sense. Even when we were at Shannon's, it doesn't
Yeah. So we've talked about this. So that's why I said people have been having altars for a very long time. They're more open about the fact that they are altars now, because I think this conversation is more welcome during this time. Mm-hmm. But my whole home is an altar. Every place you go into my it's an altar. Like if you look over, and there are things. Oh my God, Chrissy, I gotta show you something that's been hanging on my wall for years, and what it is. You're gonna die laughing, because I'm just like, so sometimes even in the art that I've chosen, something I just thought was so beautiful, and I look at it now, I'm like, oh my God, I was been leaving clues for myself for so long, but so my point is, even the unintentional things are part of an altar, but there are so many intentional places, spaces, smells, crystals. I'm directing energy. I'm just, It all places in my house is very intentional, and even the way that I offer and speak to, spiritually, my home is my altar. Everybody has a different way of doing it. I'm just telling y'all the way, for me, it's
and
just
like there are people who will say that their body is an altar.
Facts.
And actually we should treat our bodies like an altar.
It's a temple.
Right. And I think that if we approached our bodies in that way, we would take better care of our bodies. But that's that's another story. But
they say shut up, Mia.
Okay.
Yep. I sure will. But so yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
The only reason I want to hit on it is because I think when a lot of people hear a sacrifice,
Yes.
and think of spiritual sacrifice, they're thinking about, that biological. Like there's sexual sacrifice, all type of, there's a lot of, again, a lot of different practices. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have a lot of, I have no experience actually in it. I know, I would say that the knowledge that I have of it is limited at best. So I don't even, I just don't want, I want, maybe that's something that we could get an expert on to come talk to us more about, what are the differences there. But just because, that's something that comes to mind when people talk about spiritual sacrifice. I wanted us to hit on that.
Yeah.
So, we're done with that. That's not, so, yeah. So Christy, how long have we been yammering?
How long have we been recording?
Yes.
An hour and 7.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Hour and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys, Mercury retrograde got us. We got.
Got.
So what's your takeaway?
I think that how we can stop blurring the lines between sacrifice and suffering is if we look at our sacrifice as choosing the bigger thing, the what's next, as the sacrifice is choosing just what's 2 steps ahead instead of 1 step ahead, choosing what you really want instead of what we're giving up, air quotes, giving up, then we'll understand the value in our sacrifice. But when we're looking at what we're giving up instead of what we're going towards, we trick ourselves into suffering. So I think we should be, again, we talk about this all the time, be intentional and conscious about the decisions that we're making. Even our perspective and how we view our own lives would change our lives. That's my takeaway.
So my takeaway, and I'm so sorry. He's hearing something, and I am feeling something. I'm not sure.
Brandon, you not have. Temperature just dropped.
But so when I think of, so you said that everything is love. There are just different levels of love, and so when I think about sacrifice and I think about suffering, those essentially would be lower vibrational energies of love. But when I think about suffering, I think about the yin and the yang, because you can't have one without the other. Like, I feel like everything in life is cyclical or cyclical, and the yin and the yang has this constant flow between the white and the dark, and I don't know. That's just one of the things that I saw, but I feel like when it comes to sacrificing or suffering, just, follow your heart, follow, whatever your gut's telling you to do that. But I don't...
But Kirsten,
it's different for everyone.
It is, but I will say this, though. To me, it all goes back to loving yourself.
Right. And it's,
when
I feel like it's part of the process.
Love on yourself. Accept yourself. And every piece of your being only wants the best for yourself, you will not make decisions that allow you to suffer.
That part.
That is against yourself.
Yeah.
When you are for yourself, you cannot be against yourself.
That's the third time she said that.
I'm just, because it's true.
I understand it. I got it.
Right? You can't. It won't allow me to make a decision that's going to cause me to suffer.
Right.
My body, my soul, my heart, my mind, there's not a piece of me that even knows how to move in that direction anymore. And the dope thing about it is when you stop in the middle of those type of decisions, and you pivot this way, you like, oh my God.
Like, and in the past, like, I look at myself, like, in the past, there have been times where I'd be like, I would have been a complete wreck.
Oh my goodness.
And now I'm just like, let's do this.
And I get to look. I love being able to put myself in a position where I'm observing my own life.
Yes.
Like, I'm watching the movie of my life,
and seeing the growth.
When I do that, I'm like, man, this movie cold than a motherfucker.
For me, it's seeing the growth. Like, when I look at my growth, I'm like, wow, Kristen, you
did that.
You did that.
You're like, you did that.
You did that.
Just think if you were watching a movie. or reading a book about this person that is you, you would be like, oh my good, woo, I was worried.
Right.
Ooh, this girl cold. She always find a way. You would be your biggest cheerleader if you were reading the story of your own life.
Yeah,
Take
you're
a
right.
step back and look at your growth. Man.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all, get on it. Let's grow and glow. I love it. Okay, I don't have no homework this week.
Okay. No temple work. All right. So this week's crystal.
Crystal of the week.
I know crystal.
Oh wait,
of the week.
I thought I had something.
Alexandrite. Element is wind and water. The chakras. It's good for the heart, the third eye, and the crown. So Alexandrite is said to carry a very joyful vibration and to be a powerful agent of inner transformation and spiritual evolution. It embodies both the heart energy and the higher mind energy. This crystal vibrates, connecting you to source energies of higher dimensions, and is a stone of high wisdom and heart energy. It also facilitates one moving through grief or self-pity and enables one to perceive one's own point of power in the moment. This crystal can also be used to attract abundance. Alexandrite is closely related to Egyptian and Atlantean energies and can assist those who are once priests or priestesses in recovering ancient sacred knowledge. Affirmation that comes with this crystal is I embrace with joy the totality of life. And have you heard of this crystal?
Yes.
Have you worked with it before? I have never worked with this crystal.
Honestly, my introduction to it was shocker, some jewelry. I have
She has some fly crystal jewelry. Like Mia has the flyer ship.
It's my mama's fault. We had a family jeweler that would create whatever we said. I'm like, man. So I have it. I didn't know that what the power and energy and crystals back then. Like I have a bunch of, like when I go back I look at some jewelry, I'm like, I got some pieces I ain't even know I was rocking with, for real.
Oh, that's funny.
So I have a Alexandrite ring.
Okay.
It's so beautiful, such a beautiful stone. And when you picked it, when I saw that was the crystal that you picked, I was like, I've never tried to connect with it. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? I was like, but this made me. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me go talk to homegirl.
Yeah. Sometimes whenever we do the podcast, most of the crystals I have, and then some of them I don't have. But as we're working on this episode and these crystals come up, I'm like, you know what? I think I might want to work with this.
Yes.
And then I'll order them, and then I'll meditate with it. And yeah, but
I love that.
Yes. All right, you guys. We are at 1 hour and 17.
Well, I say it's night.
Night.
It's night time. So
Yeah.
it's
Mercury.
almost 10:30.
Yeah.
And we barely made it through because Mercury was trying to mess with us.
Man, for real. Like it's been a week of shits. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to no one's about to block my blessing. So
Toodaloo, boo boo.
bye bye.
Toodaloo, boo boo.
But thank you all for listening to Two Queens and
We
Crystal
love you.
Things. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I don't know. Mercury retrograde, whatever. Before we go, show us some feedback. Give us some love. You guys give us reviews. We appreciate that. That helps us to know what we need to improve upon. You know what? Even those of you who have negative comments, it is okay. It's fine. Feedback is what is needed to improve. So we thank you for that. Questions, you can DM us via IG. You can email us at info@2queensandcrystalthings. Follow our personal page, Wings and Leash 4444. Christy R. Edwards. You know about us. Thank you.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Till
Love,
next
light,
week.
peace,
And so
love.